The arrival. The war station hung in space like a floating fortress. It was called Titan Base, a place where the strongest warriors in the galaxy gathered to compare strength, weapons, and skill. Massive ships surrounded it like silent guards. Inside, banners of many worlds hung from the high ceiling of the main hall. This year's War Summit was special. Every major species had sent their champions. Tall, armored giants from iron worlds. Fast blade masters from desert planets. Heavy shield fighters from volcanic systems. They stood proudly in shining armor, their weapons glowing with advanced energy cores. And then the humans arrived. They did not come with a large fleet. Only one ship docked quietly at the station. It was smaller than most military cruisers present. The airlock opened. A group of human soldiers stepped out. No glowing armor. No heavy plasma cannons. No visible enhancements. Just simple combat uniforms. Standard boots. Solid but plain rifles. The hall grew quiet for a moment. Then whispers began. General Kale, leader of the Iron Legion, crossed his arms over his massive chest. His armor was layered with black metal plates and glowing red lines. "These are the famous humans," he said loudly. Beside him stood Captain Mira, younger but sharp-eyed. She studied the humans carefully. "They look normal," she said. Commander Rex walked at the front of the human group. He was not tall compared to many aliens. He did not carry the largest weapon, but his posture was straight. His steps were steady. He looked around the hall calmly, as if he had seen worse places before. A large platform rose at the center of the hall. Each species had already displayed their strength earlier in the day. The Iron Legion had lifted reinforced steel blocks weighing several tons. The Desert Blade Masters had cut through energy barriers in seconds. The volcanic shield fighters had demonstrated near-perfect defense against heavy weapons. Now all eyes were on the humans. The summit host stepped forward. "Earth representatives," the host announced, "please demonstrate your military capability." General Kale smirked. "Yes," he said. "Show us this human power we have heard about." Commander Rex did not argue. He nodded once. "We do not perform demonstrations," he said calmly. A few warriors laughed. "Afraid," one shouted. Rex shook his head slightly. "No." "Then show your strength," General Kale demanded. Rex looked around the hall again. "Our strength," he said, "is not shown in 10 seconds." Murmurs spread through the crowd. Captain Mira tilted her head. "Then how do you show it?" Rex answered simply, "You observe it." General Kale laughed loudly. "Observe what?" "You carry no heavy weapons. Your armor is basic. Your ship is small." Rex did not react to the mockery. "We invite you," he said clearly, "to watch our training." More laughter echoed across the hall. "Training?" Kale said. "We are warriors. We do not watch recruits run in circles." Rex met his gaze evenly. "Then you may continue believing we are weak." The hall fell silent for a moment. The confidence in Rex's voice did not sound like a challenge. It sounded like fact. Captain Mira studied him closely. She noticed something unusual. The human soldiers behind him stood completely still. No shifting. No whispering. No reaction to the insults. "Discipline." General Kale stepped forward. "When?" he asked. "Tomorrow morning," Rex replied. "Ground-level training field. No special arrangements." Kale looked amused. "Very well. We will come." As the humans turned to leave the hall, some alien warriors shook their heads. "They do not even attempt to impress us," one muttered. "They must rely on tricks," another said. Captain Mira remained quiet. She had noticed something else. When the humans walked, they moved as one unit. Not forced. Not robotic. Natural. Controlled. Back on their ship, one human soldier spoke softly to Rex. "Sir, they expect something dramatic." Rex nodded. "I know. Should we prepare anything extra?" "No," Rex replied. "We train as always." The soldier smiled slightly. Understood. The next morning would not include glowing weapons. It would not include powerful displays. It would include sweat, weight, endurance, and silence. But in the grand hall of Titan Base, the strongest warriors in the galaxy were still laughing. They believed humans were small. They believed humans lacked physical power. They believed technology defined strength. None of them yet understood what they were about to witness. As Titan Base rotated slowly above the stars, one thing was certain. Tomorrow, the laughter would not sound the same. The field of dirt and sweat. The next morning, the sky above Titan Base was gray and cold. The lower training field was wide and simple. No glowing towers. No shining platforms. Just packed dirt, metal bars, climbing walls, and long tracks marked in white lines. General Kale arrived first with several warriors from the Iron Legion. Their heavy boots shook the ground as they walked. Their armor glowed softly in the early light. Captain Mira came with a smaller group. She wore lighter armor today, her helmet resting under her arm. Soon, other species gathered along the edge of the field. Word had spread quickly. Everyone wanted to see what humans called strength. At exactly sunrise, the human unit marched onto the field. No music, no announcement, just steady footsteps. Commander Rex walked in front. The humans lined up in perfect rows. Each carried a large pack on their back. Thick straps pressed against their shoulders. Some packs looked almost as big as their torsos. General Kale frowned. "They train fully loaded?" he asked. Captain Mira nodded slowly. "It appears so." Rex stepped forward. "Today's schedule remains unchanged," he said to his soldiers.
His voice was calm.
Not loud. 40-kilometer endurance run. Full weight. No support gear. Some aliens exchanged confused looks. "No support gear?" one whispered. The Iron Legion used power armor for long-distance movement. Most advanced species relied on energy support systems to reduce muscle strain. The humans began adjusting their packs. One alien warrior stepped closer to the field and called out, "Where are your enhancement suits?" Rex answered without turning, "We do not use them for basic training." Laughter spread again. "This is basic?" General Kale said loudly. "Your muscles will fail before halfway." Rex looked toward him calmly. "You are welcome to join." The challenge hung in the air. The Iron Legion warriors glanced at Kale. Finally, Kale stepped forward. "I will observe first." Captain Mira surprised everyone. "I will attempt it," she said quietly. The crowd shifted in interest. She stepped onto the field and removed her helmet fully. She activated a lightweight adjustment mode on her armor, reducing assistance. Rex nodded once. "Stay within your limits." The humans began running. Not sprinting. Running. Steady pace. Even breathing. Boots hitting dirt in rhythm. Captain Mira followed. The first few kilometers were easy. The aliens watching seemed unimpressed. "They run like standard infantry," one said. "Yes," another replied. "Nothing special." But the humans did not change pace. 5 kilometers passed. 10. The sun climbed higher. Sweat began to show on their uniforms. Dust covered their boots. Captain Mira's breathing grew heavier. Her enhanced lungs were not used to this sustained effort without support. The humans did not speak. They did not complain. They simply continued. At the 15-kilometer mark, one human stumbled slightly on uneven ground. Before he could fall, the soldier beside him shifted closer, steadying him without breaking stride. No words were exchanged. They adjusted naturally and kept moving. Captain Mira noticed. This was not competition.
It was unity.
At 20 kilometers, her legs felt heavier. Even with partial armor support, fatigue was real. She glanced at Rex. His pace had not changed. His breathing was controlled. His eyes remained forward. General Kale crossed his arms, watching more carefully now. "Why do they not increase speed?" he asked. "They are conserving energy," another alien officer replied slowly. At 25 kilometers, Captain Mira's armor warning light blinked. Muscle strain increasing. She pushed forward stubbornly. A human soldier running beside her noticed her uneven step. "Adjust your breathing," he said simply. She almost snapped in response, but instead she listened. "Inhale 4 steps. Exhale 4. She followed the pattern. Her balance improved slightly. 30 kilometers. The sun was hot now. The dirt track felt endless. Several alien observers shifted uncomfortably. This was no longer entertaining. It was exhausting just to watch. At 35 kilometers, Captain Myra's legs trembled. Her armor system shut off assistance completely. She stumbled. A human soldier immediately slowed and supported her arm. "We finished together," he said. She looked at him in surprise. "You will lose time." He shook his head. Time is not the goal. The group adjusted pace. No frustration. No anger. They ran as one unit. Finally, at 40 kilometers, the humans crossed the marked line. No cheering. No dramatic gestures. They simply stopped, removed their packs, and began cooling down exercises. Captain Mira dropped to one knee, breathing hard. She had not completed the full distance on her own strength, but she had crossed the line. General Kale stepped forward slowly. "You call this strength?" he asked, though his voice was quieter now. Rex wiped sweat from his forehead. "Yes." Kale looked at the soldiers standing upright, tired but steady. They did not collapse. "No," Rex replied. "They did not compete against each other."
No.
They did not show off. Rex met his eyes. "We train to endure, not to impress." The field was silent now. No laughter. Only the sound of wind across dirt. Captain Mira stood slowly.
Her body ached.
But her mind was clear. She understood something important. These humans were not training to look powerful for a few moments. They were building something long-lasting. And for the first time, the galaxy's strongest warriors were not smiling. They were thinking. When strength is not enough. The training field was quiet after the endurance run. The alien warriors no longer laughed. They watched more carefully now. But General Kale was not fully convinced. "Endurance is useful," he said, stepping forward. "But war is not a marathon. It is impact, power,
Speed.
Several warriors nodded in agreement. Commander Rex listened calmly. "You are correct," Rex said. "War requires impact." Kale's eyes narrowed slightly. "Then show us." Rex gave a short signal to his unit. The humans moved toward another section of the field. This area had walls made of reinforced steel, heavy crates, climbing towers, and hanging metal beams. "This is a strength circuit," Rex explained. "No power armor. No enhancement." The alien observers leaned forward with interest. Now this looked more serious. The first task began. 2 humans stepped toward a massive steel beam lying on the ground. It was thick and long, clearly heavy. General Kale smiled slightly. "That will require mechanical support." The humans bent down. They lifted together.
Slowly.
Controlled. The beam rose from the ground.
Muscles tightened.
Boots dug into dirt. But the lift was steady. They carried the beam across the field and placed it onto elevated supports. No shouting. No roaring display. Just effort. Kale's smile faded slightly. Next came the wall climb. The wall was tall and smooth, with only small grips. One by one, the humans climbed. Not racing. Not competing. Some reached the top faster. Others slower. But at the top, instead of dropping down immediately, each human reached back to help the next climber. Captain Mira noticed again. They moved as individuals but acted as one. The final task was unexpected. Several heavy crates were placed across uneven ground. The humans had to move them from one end to another within a time limit. General Kale finally stepped forward.
"This is simple," he said.
"Allow one of my warriors to attempt it." Rex nodded. "You are welcome." One of the Iron Legion soldiers removed his heavy external armor to comply with the rules. Even without full armor, he was massive compared to a human. He approached a crate and lifted it easily. The crowd murmured in approval. He carried it halfway across the field quickly. But after several more trips, his breathing became rough. His movements slowed. His strength was impressive, but his energy dropped quickly. The humans continued their circuit steadily beside him. No dramatic speed. No early burst of power. Just constant output. The Iron Legion warrior attempted to lift another crate, but his grip slipped slightly. He had used too much force early on. He stepped back, frustrated. General Kale's jaw tightened. Rex walked toward him calmly. Raw strength wins moments, Rex said quietly. Control wins battles. Kale did not answer immediately. Captain Mira stepped forward next. I would like to try the full circuit, she said. Rex nodded once. She began with confidence. The beam lift challenged her balance. Without power support, the weight felt real. She completed it, but slower than expected. She moved to the wall climb. Her upper body strength was good, but fatigue from the previous day's run lingered. Halfway up, her grip weakened. Before she slipped, a human below adjusted position to steady her foot without speaking. She reached the top, breathing heavy. Sweat ran down her face. At the crate movement stage, she tried pacing herself instead of using bursts of strength. She watched the humans. They were not trying to overpower the task. They were managing it.
Step.
Lift.
Move. Breathe. Repeat.
When she finished, she was exhausted but standing. The humans were also tired, but none had collapsed. General Kale walked slowly across the field. He looked at the human soldiers. Their muscles were defined, but not enormous. Their armor was plain but functional. There was no advanced glow, no extreme enhancement, yet they had completed everything. Without complaint, without slowing as a unit. Why train without your technology? Kale asked at last. Rex answered simply. Because technology fails. The words hung in the air. In our history, Rex continued, we have lost power, lost communication, lost support. He looked around at the alien warriors. When that happens, the only thing left is what you have built inside your body and mind. Silence followed. Captain Mira felt something shift inside her. Her people valued visible power. The Iron Legion valued overwhelming force. But humans valued something quieter. Preparation. General Kale crossed his arms again, but not in mockery this time. You believe strength must last, he said. Yes, Rex replied. Even when alone? Yes. Even when injured? Yes. The simple answers carried weight. A young alien warrior whispered, they train for failure. Captain Mira corrected softly, they train for survival. The humans began cleaning the field. No celebration. No applause. Just routine. General Kale watched them carefully. For the first time since the summit began, he did not look amused. He looked thoughtful. And as the sun lowered over Titan Base, the strongest warriors in the galaxy began to understand something uncomfortable. Human strength was not loud. It was steady. And steady strength was harder to defeat than explosive power. The silence among the observers grew deeper. The laughter from the first day was completely gone. The simulation. By the fourth day, no one was laughing anymore. The endurance run had shown stamina. The strength circuit had shown control. But General Kale still believed one thing. Training fields are one thing, he said during the morning gathering. Real battle is chaos. Commander Rex nodded. Correct. Kale looked slightly surprised at the agreement. Then today, Rex continued, we simulate chaos. The alien warriors gathered around a new section of Titan Base. This area was built like a small city. Narrow streets, metal buildings, dark corners, elevated platforms. This is our combat simulation zone, Rex explained. No enhancement armor. No shield generators. Limited ammunition. Murmurs spread across the observers. Limited ammunition? One alien asked. Yes, Rex replied. 6 rounds per soldier. General Kale frowned. 6? That is barely engagement level. Rex looked at him calmly. Exactly. The rules were simple. 2 teams. 1 human squad. 1 mixed alien squad led by Captain Mira. Objective: secure a central control point inside the mock city. No outside communication. No air support. No advanced scanning systems. Begin, Rex ordered. The simulation started with a loud signal. The alien squad moved first. They advanced aggressively through the main street. Heavy footsteps echoed between buildings. Captain Mira tried to signal caution, but several stronger warriors rushed ahead. They believed speed and force would overwhelm the humans. The human squad disappeared almost instantly. They did not charge. They did not make noise. They split into smaller pairs and vanished into side alleys. Inside the control room, observers watched through overhead cameras. General Kale leaned forward. "Where are they?" he asked. One screen showed a human soldier climbing quietly to a rooftop. Another showed two humans moving through a narrow back passage. No wasted motion. No unnecessary sound. Suddenly, a simulated shot echoed. One alien warrior's armor sensor flashed red. "Tagged," the system announced. He was out. Confusion spread in the alien squad. "From where?" one shouted. Another simulated shot. "Second warrior down." Captain Mira raised her hand. "Fall back. Cover positions." But the humans were already repositioning. They did not stay in one place after firing. They moved. Always moving. General Kale's expression tightened. "They are not engaging directly," he said. "No," one officer replied slowly. "They are shaping the field." Inside the mock city, Captain Mira adjusted her strategy. "Split into smaller units," she ordered. "Move through side paths." This time, she moved more carefully. The alien squad entered a narrow corridor between two buildings. Too narrow. A smoke device activated suddenly. Vision reduced. 3 precise simulated shots echoed. 3 more warriors eliminated. Captain Mira rolled behind cover just in time. She steadied her breathing. She remembered the endurance run. Slow breath. Control. Think. She signaled her remaining teammates silently. They spread out. Now the fight slowed. Both sides careful. Both sides watching. From a rooftop, a human soldier observed her movements. He did not fire immediately. He waited. She moved into what looked like open ground. Nothing happened. She hesitated. Then she realized. It was too quiet. She looked up. Too late. Simulated shot. Her armor sensor flashed red. Captain Mira eliminated. Silence filled the observation room. The remaining alien warriors were cleared out within minutes. The simulation ended. Total time, 12 minutes. Human casualties, 0. Alien casualties, complete elimination. The observers did not speak. The humans regrouped calmly in the center of the mock city. They checked each other's status. No cheering. No celebration. General Kale walked down into the field. He looked at Rex directly. "You avoided direct confrontation," Kale said. "Yes." "You used terrain instead of strength." "Yes." "You limited ammunition." "Yes." Kale's voice was lower now. "Why?" Rex answered simply. "Because in real war, you do not always have more." He gestured toward the empty weapons. "When you have 6 rounds, you make 6 decisions carefully." Captain Mira removed her helmet. Her face showed no anger. Only realization. "You forced us to react," she said. "Yes," Rex replied. "You made us impatient." "Yes." She nodded slowly. "You controlled the pace." Rex did not deny it. General Kale looked around at the human squad. "They did not panic," he observed. "No," Rex said. "They adapted when the situation changed." "Yes." The Iron Legion general stood silent for a long moment. He replayed the battle in his mind. The humans had not shown superior strength. They had shown superior discipline. They had turned limited resources into advantage. They had stayed calm while others rushed. Finally, Kale removed his helmet, a sign of respect among his people. "You train your soldiers to think before they strike," he said quietly. Rex nodded. "We train them to survive." The wind moved softly between the mock buildings. No one laughed. No one mocked. The strongest warriors in the galaxy had just witnessed something unexpected. Human training was not about display. It was about control. And control in chaos was far more dangerous than raw power. As the alien warriors walked back toward the main station, their steps were slower, quieter. For the first time, since the summit began. They were silent not from boredom, but from understanding the reason behind the discipline. That evening, Titan Base felt different. The halls were still bright. The banners still hung from the ceiling. But the mood had changed. Where there had once been laughter, there was now quiet discussion. Alien warriors who had mocked humans just days before were now speaking in low voices. They were not arguing. They were analyzing. General Kale stood near one of the large observation windows, looking out at the stars. Captain Mira approached him. "They fight without fear," she said. Kale shook his head slightly.
"No.
They fight with control." Mira thought about the simulation again. The limited ammunition. The silent movement. The patience. "They knew we would rush," she said. "Yes," Kale replied. "Because we always do." Across the station, Commander Rex stood alone on a balcony outside the training wing. The lights of distant ships reflected in his eyes. He heard footsteps behind him. Captain Mira stepped out onto the balcony. "May I speak with you?" she asked. Rex nodded. She stood beside him, looking at the stars. "I want to understand," she said. "Understand what?" Rex asked. "Why humans train this way? Why no enhancements? Why no display?" Rex was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke slowly. "Because we have lost before." Mira looked at him. "Every species has lost battles," she said. "Yes," Rex replied. "But humans nearly lost everything." He kept his voice calm, but there was weight behind his words. "Before we joined the galaxy," he continued, "we fought many wars among ourselves." Mira listened carefully. Some of those wars destroyed cities. Some destroyed entire regions. "We learned something the hard way." "What?" she asked. "Technology fails." He turned to face her. Power grids collapse. Weapons run out of energy. Communication breaks. Reinforcements do not arrive. Mira remembered the limited ammo drill. "When that happens," Rex said, "training is all that remains." She thought back to the endurance run. The heavy packs. The steady breathing. "You prepare for the worst moment," she said quietly. "Yes." "Even if it never comes?" "Yes." The simple answer surprised her. On her world, warriors trained for glory.
For victory.
For recognition. Humans trained for survival. "In the simulation," Mira said, "you did not seek to overpower us."
"No."
"You waited for mistakes." "Yes." She nodded slowly. "You train for patience." Rex allowed a faint smile. "Patience keeps people alive." Mira looked at his hands. They were steady, scarred slightly from years of service. "You have seen real war," she said. "Yes." "Did you enjoy it?" Rex's expression did not change.
"No."
The word was firm. "I do not train soldiers because I enjoy combat," he added. "I train them so fewer of them die." The wind moved softly across the balcony. Mira understood something important then. Human discipline was not pride. It was protection. The next morning, the alien warriors gathered again at the training field, but this time, they did not stand at a distance. General Kale stepped forward. "We request joint training," he said directly to Rex. Rex nodded once. "You will train under the same rules." "No enhancements?"
Kale asked.
"No enhancements." "Limited resources?" "Yes." Kale removed his outer armor. "So be it." One by one, alien warriors stepped forward. They removed heavy support gear. They left behind glowing shields. The field looked different now. Humans and aliens stood side by side. No mockery. No laughter. Rex addressed them all. "Today we train reaction under stress." He gave a signal. Sudden loud noises erupted across the field. Flashing lights. Simulated explosions. Some alien warriors flinched. Humans did not. They dropped low, took cover, moved quickly and efficiently. Mira reacted faster this time. She followed a human soldier's movement instead of charging forward. General Kale caught himself before rushing.
He slowed his breathing. Watched.
Listened. The drill ended after several intense minutes. Sweat-covered faces from many species. But something had changed. They were no longer divided. They were learning together. General Kale approached Rex once more. "You do not train for dominance," he said quietly. "No," Rex replied. "You train for survival." "Yes." Kale nodded slowly. "The galaxy believed humans were reckless fighters," he said. Rex's eyes were steady. "We fight hard when we must." Mira stepped forward. "And you prepare even when you do not." Rex nodded again. Silence settled across the field. But this silence was different from the first day. It was not filled with doubt. It was filled with respect. The strongest warriors in the galaxy had come expecting spectacle. Instead, they found discipline. They had expected raw power. Instead, they discovered endurance, patience, and unity. And as the training resumed under the rising sun, one truth became clear. Human strength was not loud.
It did not need to be.
Because the kind of strength built for survival did not need to prove itself. It simply endured. When everything goes wrong. By the sixth day, the training field no longer felt like foreign ground to the alien warriors. They were tired. Their muscles ached in ways they were not used to. But they kept returning. This morning felt different. There was tension in the air. Commander Rex stood in front of both human and alien soldiers. His expression was calm, but serious. "Today," he said, "we remove control." General Kale narrowed his eyes. "Explain." Rex gave a short signal. Suddenly, the power across the training zone shut down. Lights flickered off. Communication devices lost signal. The field dropped into partial darkness. Several alien warriors instinctively reached for enhancement controls that were not active. "This is the drill," Rex's voice echoed from somewhere unseen. "Simulated station failure. Unknown hostile presence. Limited visibility. No command link." The silence felt heavy. Then a loud explosion sound shook the far end of the field. Smoke began to rise. Captain Myra's heart jumped, but she forced herself to breathe slowly. First steps inhale. First steps exhale. She remembered. Human soldiers were already moving. Not running wildly. Not shouting. They moved in pairs, taking cover behind low barriers. One human soldier tapped another's shoulder and pointed toward higher ground. No words. Just signals. General Kale looked around. Without communication systems, his warriors were used to receiving central orders. Now there were none. He felt a moment of hesitation. Across the field, another simulated blast sounded. A sensor on one alien warrior flashed red. "Injured," the system voice announced. The injured warrior fell to one knee. For a brief second, others froze. Then a human soldier moved immediately. He pulled the injured alien behind cover. Another human secured the area. No panic. No confusion. Just action. Mira moved to assist. She knelt beside the injured warrior. "What do we do?" one alien asked her quietly. She almost said, "Wait for orders." But she stopped herself. Instead, she looked at the humans. They were forming small defensive positions. Watching angles. Protecting each other. "We stabilize," Mira said firmly. "Then reposition." She helped lift the injured warrior with another soldier. General Kale moved closer to Rex, who now stood in partial shadow. "This is chaos," Kale said. "Yes," Rex replied calmly. "You give no instructions."
No.
Kale understood. They were testing instinct. Another explosion. More smoke. Visibility dropped further. Alien warriors began to adapt. Instead of rushing toward the noise, they held positions. Instead of waiting for command, they communicated with hand signals they had learned during the week. A group of mixed soldiers, human and alien, moved together toward a building entrance. Inside, the space was dark. Footsteps echoed. Suddenly, a simulated hostile target appeared. One alien warrior almost fired all his rounds at once. But he stopped. He aimed carefully. One shot. Target eliminated. He felt something shift inside him. Control. Outside, General Kale observed his own soldiers. They were no longer charging blindly. They were breathing, thinking, reacting with discipline. The drill continued for nearly an hour. More simulated failures. More unexpected events. At one point, Rex himself pretended to be injured. He dropped to the ground without warning. 2 human soldiers reacted instantly. They secured the area. Another lifted him over his shoulder. They did not wait for confirmation. They assumed responsibility. When the final signal ended the drill, the smoke cleared slowly. The lights came back on. The field was silent. Soldiers from different worlds stood together, covered in dust and sweat. No one looked amused. No one looked confused. They looked focused. General Kale removed his helmet slowly. "This," he said quietly, "is war without warning." "Yes," Rex replied. Kale looked at his warriors. They did not freeze.
No.
They did not panic.
No.
They adapted. Rex nodded. "Because we train for when everything fails." Captain Mira stepped forward. "I felt fear," she admitted. Rex looked at her. "So did I," he said. She frowned slightly. "But you did not show it." "Fear is normal," Rex replied. "Panic is a choice." The words settled over the group. The alien warriors thought back to their early days on the field. The laughter. The mockery. It felt distant now. General Kale walked toward the center of the field. He looked at Rex with new respect. "Your strength," Kale said slowly, "is not in power." Rex remained silent. "It is in preparation for the worst moment." "Yes." Kale nodded once. "Today, I saw warriors who do not break when the plan fails." Rex looked across the field at the mixed unit. "That is the goal." No cheering followed. No dramatic applause. Only understanding. The strongest warriors in the galaxy had now witnessed something deeper than endurance. They had seen control under pressure. They had seen calm inside chaos. And as they stood there together, breathing in the fading smoke, one truth became clear. Human training was not designed to look impressive. It was designed to hold when everything else falls apart. And that kind of strength was the hardest to defeat. The silence of respect. The final day of training arrived without ceremony. No banners. No speeches. No music. Only the wide field under a gray sky. The alien fleet had remained in orbit for weeks. Their strongest warriors had come to observe human methods. They had expected to see advanced weapons, powerful machines, maybe secret technology. Instead, they saw running. They saw falling. They saw repetition. They saw failure. And now they saw something else. Readiness. Commander Rex stood at the center of the field. Around him were mixed units, human soldiers standing beside alien warriors. No separation. No clear line between them anymore. General Kale watched quietly. He remembered the first day. His warriors had stood tall and proud. They had whispered jokes about human limits, about fragile bones, about emotional weakness. Now none of them were whispering. Captain Mira stepped forward. Her armor was scratched. Her movements were slower than when she first arrived. But her eyes were sharper. "What is today's test?" she asked. Rex looked at her for a moment. "There is no test," he said. Confusion passed through the alien ranks. Kale stepped closer. "Then what is this?" Rex gave a small nod. At that moment, alarms echoed across the field. Real alarms. Not simulation. Every soldier froze for half a second. Then the sky changed. A bright flash appeared above the horizon. A small craft tore through the atmosphere, trailing smoke. Impact warning systems activated. "This is not part of the drill," one human soldier said. Rex was already moving. "All units, defensive formation," he ordered calmly. No panic. No shouting. Just action. The alien warriors felt their hearts race. This was real. A pirate raiding ship had broken through orbit defenses. It was damaged, but still armed. It landed beyond the ridge near the training field. Dust rose into the sky. Kale looked at Rex. "Your fleet." "Too far," Rex replied. "We handle this." The pirate ship doors burst open. Armed raiders poured out. They were desperate.
Fast.
aggressive. For a brief second, the alien warriors expected chaos. But they saw something else. Human soldiers moved exactly as they had during drills. Pairs formed instantly. Cover was taken. Angles secured. Mira did not wait for orders from her own command ship. She moved beside a human soldier named Liam. Left flank, she said. He nodded. No argument. No hesitation. Blaster fire filled the air. The pirates rushed forward wildly, firing without discipline. But the defenders were calm. One shot. One target. Measured breathing. Controlled movement. An alien warrior beside Mira took a hit to the shoulder and fell. Without thinking, she dragged him behind cover. Liam secured the position. Just like in training, General Kale joined the line himself. He fired carefully, not wasting energy. He saw his warriors doing the same. No reckless charges. No pride-driven attacks. Only coordination. The pirates began to lose ground. They had expected easy prey.
They found unity instead.
Within minutes, the attackers were surrounded. A final burst of fire forced the remaining pirates to surrender. Silence fell over the field again. But this time it was different. Smoke drifted slowly upward. The danger was real. The victory was real. Rex lowered his weapon. Check injuries, he ordered. Humans and aliens moved together without being told twice. No one spoke of glory. No one celebrated loudly. They simply ensured everyone was alive. Kale walked toward Rex slowly. His armor was marked from battle. His breathing was heavy. You did not know this would happen, Kale said. No, Rex replied. And yet your soldiers reacted exactly, as if it were planned. Rex looked at the field. That is the point of training. Mira approached them. Her shoulder was burned slightly, but she stood straight. They fight the same way in drills and in war, she said quietly. Yes, Rex answered. Kale looked at his warriors. They were helping human medics, sharing supplies, standing guard together. No pride, no rivalry, only respect. Kale removed his helmet once more. When he spoke, his voice carried across the field. We came here believing we were the strongest in the galaxy. His warriors listened. We measured strength by power.
By force.
By how loud we could be. He turned toward the human soldiers. But strength is not noise. The field grew completely silent. It is control, Kale continued. It is discipline. It is standing firm when fear rises. He paused. And today we saw it. Rex did not smile. He simply nodded once. Kale stepped forward and extended his hand. A human gesture. Rex looked at it briefly, then took it firmly. No dramatic words followed. None were needed. The alien fleet prepared to depart the next morning. But they left changed. Reports were sent across the galaxy. Not about human weapons. Not about secret technology. But about training. About endurance. About calm inside chaos. Across distant star systems, commanders read those reports carefully. They noticed one repeated line in every message. The galaxy's strongest warriors fell silent after watching humans train. Because what they witnessed was not flashy. It was not loud. It was not proud. It was something deeper. And far more dangerous. They saw warriors who did not break. And in the vast silence of space, that truth echoed louder than any weapon ever could.